Hey, well, welcome back to the Arc Path.
My name is Bernard,
And I'm Casey.
and we are podcasting again.
You know, you said podcasting, but it probably feels more like running some kind of race.
Yeah,
And it's a journey.
marathon.
And it's a marathon.
Marathon.
It's a marathon?
Yeah, it's a marathon.
But it feels like we're sprinting sometimes.
Don't you sprint in a marathon? I have no idea.
I probably could sprint a mile. I don't know if I could do it 26 times in a row. That's a concept I have about how to get through life. I run sprints, and if I got to run a marathon, I've got 26 1-mile sprints.
So then, after the 1 mile sprint, do you walk or can you lightly jog to catch your breath?
Man, you know, now you got me into technicalities because I'm thinking there's a 0.2 on the end of the marathon. I've never run a marathon because I think I die at the end of 26.
I don't even have a
sprints.
concept, so I can't even answer
You're not
that.
even there. Where we're going today is a journey of choice. It's a journey of recognizing we have the opportunity. We could run a marathon tomorrow, Bernard.
We
It would
can?
be ugly.
Yeah.
We would be miserable. But I believe we would both complete it if we set out to do it tomorrow because we're stubborn, strong-willed individuals that complete what we ever set out to do.
Yes.
I mean, is that a truth?
It is that evening and the next day we will not be able to walk.
I'd say 3 days.
3 days, okay. Yeah. It would hurt so much, but we would be validated by our pain.
Oh man, we have just stumbled, word pun there on the walk, on the run, into our topic today about choice and about the way we live our life. Some people run marathons every week.
Uh-huh.
They literally do, and that's how they do it. And they don't hurt when they do it because they chose it. We don't choose that.
Yes.
And we would be miserable if we all of a sudden decided, I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm going to run a marathon today. So today I just want to invite you to recognize we're not asking you to run a marathon tomorrow.
No.
But we are inviting you to recognize that it's possible. It's available. And as you go into training, as you walk down a journey of discovering what do you want your life to look like, you have to choose something today to prepare you to step into what you want tomorrow.
I love that. Well, I'm going to go at it from a different angle, and I love that because training is what's critical. I think many of us are running these marathons. Some are structured, some are unstructured.
Absolutely.
And we're not trained. We're not fit. We're definitely not fit. I mean, look at all of us. You're in one of your best shapes that I've known your life,
Yeah.
and I celebrate that. But again, many of us are not in the best shape physically, mentally, and emotionally. Yet we're still running these marathons, and we're all over the place.
And I would, and you're getting your butt kicked. That's a clean way to say it. You
Yeah.
know, if we have a Spartan race coming up, I'm going to get my butt kicked.
Yeah.
I have not trained for a 10K Spartan race. If you don't know what a Spartan race is, Google it or look it up. But I can't even complete a lot of
phase one.
a lot of it, and yet I'm going to go in and I'm gonna test myself. I'm gonna push myself because I can complete it, but I can complete it better if I train harder.
Well, I mean, the good thing, I'm just sitting here. I'm just gonna get comfortable. I think you might not have the fitness, but you definitely have the pride to complete it.
I'm not sure if that was a compliment or offense.
It was not a compliment. Listen to what you just said. Go, I don't think I'm fit, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And so, well, I don't have my fitness, but I do have my pride, and I will complete this race.
Yeah, I resemble that, and I will do it. Darn it. So. Hey, what we're going today is not this direction at all, but yet it's so applicable because this is how we live every day.
Lifestyle.
I mean,
This
it's
is
about lifestyle. These 5 lenses on the Arc Path today. We're taking on this lifestyle, and it's really a lifestyle of service. It's a lifestyle of leadership, and a lot of people serve out of pride. I don't want people to think that I'm not the type of person who serves. And so I serve out of pride. And I go, well, that's not really service. And then there's the same element of, well, I'm going to lead because I'm better than everybody else. And that's not really leadership, that's dictatorship. And so we're kind of touching this concept of service and leadership as a lifestyle. This is not a leadership podcast. This is not a how-to podcast. Great books and great concepts on how to become a servant leader. Not where we're going today. It's why. Why even care to step into a lifestyle that impacts those around you? That's really what leadership and service have in common, is they impact the lives around you.
I love that. And if you didn't notice, Casey took us to the end.
Usually.
It is about service, and it is about leadership. It is owning what you're supposed to be doing, and you are supposed to be serving your community, those that you love, and what you're there is a self care, but most of us live a lifestyle of self service,
Mm.
and we mask it by saying this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do that, and I'm supposed to do this. There's this fictional person that has ordained that I do that, and that fictional person is you, your alter ego. And so, as we put that out at the end, want to bring this back into the present, going, how do we get to a place where we are serving community, putting our pride and selfishness on the side, and serving our community because we're going to be happier today. I'm not going to even do that for a goal for next year.
Yeah.
We'll just leave next year alone. For today, how am I going to serve my community and put my pride and selfishness on the side?
And as Bernard pulls off the selfishness, I want to tie it back into our little race metaphor that we just kind of launched into as we were chatting about this reality. Is self-care is going to be dependent. If you engage self-care, it's because you have self-worth. I'll just say that clearly again. If you engage self-care, it is because you have self-worth. To set out to go run a marathon tomorrow without any training is not self-care. You're going to beat your body up in such a way that it's going to hurt. It's not designed yet to do that. But if you have real self-worth and you said, look, I believe a marathon is in my future and I am going to do it in excellence and train and prepare, then you're going to do self-care. You're going to start by running 1 mile and then 5 miles and then 13. And you're going to learn to put the right shoes on and feed your body properly. All those things are self-care. Service and leadership require self-care to train and discipline because you have self-worth.
I love that. And I think as we were bantering earlier, what kept coming to my mind is why? Why run the marathon? Why go to work? Why go home to my family? Why serve my parents? Why be nice to my parents? Why be good to my community? Why do I should to be nice to the leadership? I mean, look at what they've done to this city. Look what they've done to this country. Those bankers, those doctors, those lawyers, and it's why serve? And I'm just throw that back into your lap. I'm gonna throw.
And in my typical fashion, I'm going to take that and go, what a great question. But what happens if we shift it from why to how? When I'm in a why posture, I'm defensive, and this is a communication tactic. Anytime you tell somebody, "Tell me why," you immediately invited them to be defensive and to prove themselves. So as we approach the why serve, let's look at it from a lens not on defensiveness, like we have to defend the call to serve, but how can we serve? And there is a why laden into that, and I will answer the why in that sense. But it's how can it be that I can serve without exhaustion? How can I lead without arrogance? How can I make the world a better place and then it's better for me as well, not just for everybody else? And a lot of people see servanthood and service as being a lesser person, and yet the true servants of the world are the ones who have the most self-worth, and they humble themselves to recognize, I'm good. Let me help you.
I'm going to push that last part off. I love it. So if you missed it, Casey took us to the end, and then he gave you the path of how to get there today.
Yeah.
That's it. We can end the podcast right now going, you are supposed to serve. I'm talking to me. I'm looking at the monitor. I'm not talking to you. You have your own issues. I got my own issues. Um, um, you're supposed to serve, and the way you serve is you ask the how. How do I move in this moment? And how am I moving? And of course, being conscious of my motivation is complicated, because again, we mask our own motivations
Mm-hmm.
to ourselves, to each
Mm-hmm.
other, and so we're not going to focus on that, but we are going to move in this concept of, how am I going to get there? How am I going to benefit somebody's life? To shift that focus from that self-service to service,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very thin. Do you know what graphene is? And it's like it's the strongest material. It's like this fabric, but it's
Yeah.
only fabric.
It's only fabric.
But it's the strongest material in the world, and so there's this veil that's between service and self-service. But it's a thin fabric. It's not a big deal. It's okay for me to serve myself because, pity woe me, I'm going to
Yeah.
serve myself. And the reality is, if we just serve each other, our lives are exponentially better.
If we just serve each other, our lives are exponentially better. Is that what I heard you just say?
Yes.
That was beautiful. That's why I wanted to say it again.
Thank you.
We're talking about lifestyle. We've talked a little bit about communication. Let's do down the mindset path. When you ask yourself, why is this happening?
Yes.
You're never going to be satisfied when it's.
I was going to ask him why.
Yeah, it's why.
He stole that
why
again.
is this happening to me? That circumstance is not happening to you. It's actually happening for you. And so then you switch it to the how. How will I emerge from this? How can I learn from this? How will I use this as an opportunity for me when somebody throws stones at me, rather than saying, why are you throwing stones at me? I catch the stones, throw them under my feet, and then I stand up taller. Simple, right?
He knows this language. What is this foreign language that he's speaking? Are you understanding it? Is this for you? I'm telling you, this is not complicated. You just have to hear it 50 times.
Today. And
Well-
then again tomorrow.
Well, but again tomorrow.
Yep.
And the day after, you go, well, no, that's just him. He wants to live that lifestyle. You know, he might know it. And so that's why this is available for us today. It's available for us to, as we sit here and we podcast, come back tomorrow, replay this, listen to another one. This is not the first time. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. These are paradigms that we need in our lives.
Amen.
And you go, but I never got it growing up. Great. If you're listening to it, today's your first day of your adulthood.
So let me ask a why question to you.
Sure.
You're supposed to say no.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
listen. You gave me
Why is servanthood and leadership not natural for everyone? Why don't we step into the world all being servants and leaders?
I'll tell you why. Because as a baby, my parents told me no. As a young child, my parents told me no. As a young adult, my parents told me no.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told no. We have been told no all of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. The majority, the 90% of the no's are not no's. They're fear-based realities that have been programmed into my brain DNA and my physical body. And they're lies, but they still live in me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to do about that. So if I focus, okay, I'm going to go to therapy. I don't think there is a therapist smart enough, that's patient enough. Maybe if I paid them enough money, they might stick around long enough. But at the end of the day, I don't want to resolve every no that's in me. But I think the answer is, as I serve others, those no's are releasing one by one.
Very well said. If you didn't catch it all, I'm going to summarize it. Why are we not born as servants and leaders? It's because we aren't born with the power. We view somebody else as having the power. As our parents tell us no, as the world tells us no, we understand then you're more powerful than I. And so we start looking around to say, where can I take power from? Because I don't have the power to overcome the no. So I take and I take and I take. We become takers rather than givers. Servants and leaders are givers. not takers.
Yeah.
So we have to flip the script. We have to recognize that that out of my upbringing, where I'm pulling things in to feel more powerful, I'm consuming something and it's intoxicating. It's
Yes.
that alter ego you
Mm.
mentioned, and to flip the script is to recognize I do have power. I have to learn how to give it away.
Mm.
By giving that power away, then nobody can take it. This is a key right here. By giving the power away, nobody can take it.
Mm. So as I give, as I serve, I'm gaining, but if I focus on the gain, then I'm self-serving.
Or
It,
you
it's
have,
a-
or
it,
you're
it,
building
it,
self worth. I have
but if I
sufficient.
focus on it,
Yes.
if I shift my focus, going, I'm serving. Oh, but I want, but and then I start
If
grabbing,
I'm serving you to gain,
then
I'm manipulating.
I'm manipulating.
Yeah.
And that's a majority of us. Again, you guys are better than me. I know
Yeah.
that. Majority of us, we don't manipulate others so we can get what we want.
Yeah. And if we're going to go to the end again, I think in the faith realm, there's a whole lot of people that get fed up and burnt out on church because they give to gain. They
Yes.
tithe to get.
Yes.
I'm doing this, so therefore
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Get me my best seat. Get me the thing I need most. Take care of me. But look how much I did for you. And that cycle is It's actually a taking cycle.
Yes.
I'm going to give more so I can take more.
Mm.
It's not service and it's not leadership.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's ugly.
It's funny. It's as you're talking earlier about leadership, and the image that I got is, again, most of us don't see ourselves as a CEO, as a president. You run multiple organizations,
Mhm.
but Casey this, Bernard that, and the one of the best business cards that I've gotten from somebody that handed to me, it says his name, CEO and janitor. And it's funny is and I leave it, I have it around. I'm always entertained by looking at that, and this concept that it doesn't matter if you're the CEO, if you're the janitor, or whatever it is that you do, whatever you think your position is. What we're just talking about applies to you. This service and this leadership has to permeate every level of society, every level of government, business realm. It doesn't matter. You just have to have the awareness. Am I self-serving, or am I really serving this business? Am I here for a paycheck, or do I really care about this business? Am I blessing this business? Am I giving my heart, my mind, and my body for this business? Heck no, they don't deserve it. They don't. They underpay me. They do this. They do that. I get, and it's at the end of the day, it's we need a mirror, and those mirrors are ugly. I think most mirrors are ugly.
Yeah, and here's the mirror of this concept today. Again, we're talking about lifestyle, we're talking about servanthood, we're talking about leadership, and the mirror is what do you look like with more power? What do you look like with more authority? Can you see yourself in the mirror? What do you look like with more money? Sometimes money is more tangible than power and authority, but money is both power and authority. Money reveals where your character lies. It doesn't corrupt you. If you think money corrupts you, you've already been corrupted. And so where you look in the mirror and you go, what do I look like with more money? What do I look like with more power? What do I look like with more authority? If all of a sudden someone goes, I can't wait for the opportunity, and oh yes, I'm finally going to tell those people what I've wanted to tell them. We know what that looks like. It's not service and it's not leadership. But where you look in the mirror and you go, with more power, I could do more good. With more authority, I could impact more lives. Servant and leadership is in your future, and it's a lifestyle. And people won't fear you. The reason why people don't get more power and authority in the world is because everybody's holding it back, because they know, oh God, if they got that, we're going down.
And I've given so many people in my different businesses authority and power, and blown away. I've learned so much, more than I've ever wanted to learn. And but the sad reality is that a lot of people, even when they get it, when they fall on their face, and it's still not me.
Mm-hmm.
it's still not me. It's not my leadership. It's not my lifestyle. It's not my mindset. But wait a minute. You're ready, right? Go. Oh, but it's not me.
Yeah. We are literally walking through all five of the lenses. It's so much fun. I love it because in my world, like you said, I cycle through this, but what you just described was below the line leadership
Yes.
where excuses and blame and denial are rampant.
Yes.
It wasn't my fault. It was, and we blame somebody else. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't, and we come up with an excuse, or we simply deny. What do you mean it didn't go great? I think it went wonderful. And they're
Yes.
going, you didn't accomplish the task that I delegated to you and gave you the authority and power to do.
Mm,
Leadership.
leadership. I if you're not familiar with the arc path and the five lenses we feel are so critical, and there are many keywords in this world in life betterment. There's a lot of key phrases. We looked at what we found is really every word leads to the same place. It's just there's just different roads that it takes, and we found that these are the five key words that they're inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot and but you cannot separate them and be complete as a human being, but yet we work hard every day to separate them. um, well, nobody understands me. I'm just a communicator, but nobody's communicating on my channel because of them, and that's why. And so we create these realities about ourselves that make us incomplete to run these marathons of life that we're talking about. When we show up for business, we try to serve, but we're missing some of these channels. And so we're bringing these lenses that we call them because they lead to the same place, which is inside of you. And they're so important because what do they say? The eyes are the windows to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these lenses are. That really unveil what's inside of us in that moment, and that's why a lot of the mirrors that we look at are just pretty ugly mirrors.
Yeah. As we invite you in, and you invite us in, this engagement is one of dialogue. It's one of communication. It's one of relationship. And I hope today, as you're kind of navigating this arc path podcast with us, we want to invite you. What is it about your lifestyle that works? That's a question for you to answer for you. What is it about my lifestyle? Lifestyle is really where habit is a repeating process, where it is subconscious. I mean, think of all the subconscious things you do that you don't have to think about. Breathing, it's the most obvious. Your heart rate, uh, digesting food. These are physical realities you don't think about, and they are a part of your lifestyle. Now bring that to the conscious awareness and go, when you walk around, what's your lifestyle? Do you make eye contact with people? Do you smile? Do you greet people? Those are lifestyle. And all of a sudden you went, oh gosh, I do all that subconscious. And it just happens. Now bring it into your workplace. What do you think about your workplace? What do you think about the people you work with? That's part of your lifestyle. This is what we're going after today, and helping unveil these five lenses that Bernard's talking about. They're all going to cross into every aspect of life. So today we're podcast on lifestyle, but we also talk about communication. We talk about community. We talk about leadership. We talk about
Yes.
mindset.
Yes.
And these lenses bring us into what is a more clear vision of reality. And for Bernard and I always go to the end, and then I'll bring you back. It is the kingdom. What is the kingdom reality that we just might not be seeing completely, wholly, understanding the bigger picture? And it's available for you.
Yes, it definitely is. I don't think and you don't have to get Casey's education. You don't have to have my experience. You don't have to have our insight into this topic. You just have to choose to serve today. And then write the words self and community, other, whatever you want on this side. But at the end of the day, it's every choice that you made today, look in the mirror going, is this self-serving or am I serving someone today? And if you just for fun, try it out for one day. Say I'm gonna just be conscious, and I wanna serve others with every task that I do today. Just go watch Jim Carrey and if one of my favorite characters, just his lifestyle. Choose to serve others. and see what happens at the end of the day. I didn't finish that thought. It was just, being
You,
God for
you
a day.
experienced a
I,
whole
I,
lot
I
of
did,
thoughts
I
in that.
did,
It was
because
good.
it just,
If you didn't watch it visually, you missed it, but you go
for,
find it on YouTube.
well, it just Jim Carrey plays being God for whatever it was, a day or a couple days, and it's one of my favorite realities. What if I am God for one day?
Yeah.
What would I choose? What would I do to impact the world? And the first thing that I do is I'd get the cars, I'd get the moon, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, like you play with this reality, and then you watch the movie, you go through his life, and he, that breakthrough that you have. We think what we do is God-like, in a sense that if we serve others, because we believe our God was sent to serve, and if we serve others, our life would be better. And that's the invitation on the Arc Path today.
So God bless you. Thanks for listening. Yes, we had a story to share today. We've been running, and you probably felt that in this podcast. So take a deep breath. Choose to be present.
Yes.
Bring that into your lifestyle,
Yes.
and let's go out and make a difference. God bless.
Amen.